Once upon a time, there existed a world where wealth was measured in numbers far beyond the average person's imagination. In this world, 10 cities stood out as havens for the world's most affluent and influential individuals. Each of these cities was home to a unique set of billionaires, each with their own stories, businesses, and legacies. The following is the tale of these billionaires, their aspirations, ambitions, and the world they shaped. The rising giants. In the glittering skyline of Singapore, a city-state often praised for its efficiency and prosperity, there were 54 billionaires. Among them was Sophia Tan, a trailblazer in tech and AI, who had once struggled with limited resources before founding one of Southeast Asia's most successful startups. She now stood at the helm of a multi-billion-dollar empire, one that dominated Asia's digital landscape. Sophia's wealth, however, didn't define her. Her drive to bring sustainability and tech to the masses did. Not far from her, at the heart of Singapore's financial district, was Ian Wong, a real estate mogul whose deals often spanned the globe. Singapore was small, but Ian had visions of transforming entire cities. With towering skyscrapers designed by the world's leading architects, he had already reshaped the skyline. But he wasn't just building for luxury. He was determined to develop spaces that balanced sustainability and opulence. The West Coast powerhouses across the Pacific, Los Angeles was home to 58 billionaires, each a titan in their field. The city's glitz and glamour were legendary, but behind the Hollywood lights, powerful tech moguls, entrepreneurs, and financiers operated in the shadows, moving money and creating empires. One such billionaire was Charlie Westbrook, an heir to a vast entertainment fortune who had expanded into biotech. His company, founded in the Silicon Beach area, aimed to revolutionize medicine through AI-powered research. Charlie's path to success had been far from conventional. He had moved from acting in a few small films to running one of the most influential health tech companies in the world. While Charlie brought the power of innovation to LA, there was also Elena Martinez, a creative mastermind who turned her passion for fashion into an empire. With the wealth she had accumulated, Elena had a vision: to use her influence to promote ethical fashion in a world driven by consumerism. Every piece of clothing her brand made was designed with sustainability at its core, a rarity in an industry often criticized for its environmental footprint. The Chinese dynasties. In Shenzhen, China, the heartbeat of technological advancement, there were 59 billionaires. But none were more influential than Liu Zhang, a former factory worker who had turned his tech company into a global giant. With Shenzhen's landscape filled with innovation hubs, Liu's company had created everything from smartphones to AI-powered robotics. The city had become a breeding ground for engineers, coders, and dreamers. Liu's empire now stretched across continents, and his ambition seemed limitless. In Shanghai, with 61 billionaires, it wasn't just technology or manufacturing that ruled the day. While many in the city amassed wealth through finance and investment, some, like Mei Li, focused on culture. Mei had taken the ancient traditions of Chinese art and combined them with modern technology, creating a digital art marketplace that became an international sensation. Her wealth wasn't only counted in numbers, but in the transformation of the world's perception of art in the digital age. Meanwhile, in Beijing, a city that housed 68 billionaires, the political and economic center of China, it was clear that wealth often intertwined with power. Billionaires here controlled industries from energy to aerospace, yet there was one name on everyone's lips: Chen Wu. With a background in law and a flair for risk-taking, Chen had steered his fortune into the world of international banking and private equity, becoming a force to be reckoned with. The eastern powerhouses across the Indian Ocean, Mumbai, India, with 69 billionaires, was a city of extreme contrasts. On one side, the glittering high-rises and luxury malls housed the wealthiest families in the nation. On the other, the sprawling slums symbolized the vast economic divide. But it was here that a new generation of billionaires had emerged. Entrepreneurs like Priya Ramesh, who had inherited a small textile company but had transformed it into one of India's largest e-commerce platforms. Priya believed in uplifting others as she climbed, and her company employed thousands across the nation, striving to bridge the gap between the affluent and the marginalized. In Moscow, with 74 billionaires, the power structures were entrenched in politics, yet it was the business elite that often shifted the balance. Anatoly Ivanov, a quiet but immensely powerful oil magnate, controlled one of the largest energy companies in Russia. His influence extended far beyond his industry. Though he was rarely in the public eye, his decisions shaped the course of entire nations. But Anatoly's fortune came with challenges, and the price of maintaining power often led to difficult choices. In Hong Kong, another hub of financial activity, there were 74 billionaires, many of whom had deep ties to global trade. Hong Kong's unique blend of Eastern and Western influences made it a prime location for business. Among them was Liu Xing, a young entrepreneur who had expanded his family's shipping business into an international logistics powerhouse. Liu's quick rise was fueled by his vision of making the world's supply chains more efficient and transparent. London is home to 63 billionaires, making it one of the wealthiest cities in the world. These individuals have amassed their fortunes through a variety of industries, including finance, real estate, technology, and media. Some are self-made entrepreneurs, while others have inherited vast family fortunes. London's status as a global financial hub, its attractive tax laws, and its diverse economy make it a magnet for the ultra-wealthy. The presence of billionaires has contributed to the city's economic dynamism. The concentration of wealth in London underscores its importance as a global center for business and finance, drawing attention from around the world. The American dream. Finally, in New York City, the wealthiest of all 110 billionaires, the city that never sleeps, thrived with its dynamic and ever-evolving economy. From Wall Street to Silicon Alley, from Broadway to the tech startups of Brooklyn, New York was a city of relentless ambition. At the forefront of the city's fortunes was Jackson White, a financier who had reshaped the world of hedge funds. His aggressive strategies made him a legend, and his wealth seemed to grow with every new venture. But Jackson's true passion lay in social causes. He quietly funneled much of his money into education, hoping to make a difference in the lives of those who had no way of accessing the opportunities he had. But the city's true heartbeat lay in its diversity. There were artists, engineers, educators, and innovators. People like Sarah Kaplan, a tech founder whose software changed the way global cities interacted with data. And then there was David Ross, a philanthropist whose fortune came from renewable energy, using his billions to fund green initiatives in cities around the world. The collective legacy. The 10 cities, though worlds apart in culture and history, were united by one thing: the influence of their billionaires. Each person shaped their city in their own way, whether through technology, finance, art, or culture. They built legacies, redefined industries, and pushed the limits of human possibility. Yet, for all their wealth, they shared something else in common: a relentless drive to continue pushing forward, knowing that their true legacy would not just be in dollars, but in the world they left behind. And so, the billionaires of Singapore, Los Angeles, Shenzhen, Shanghai, Beijing, Mumbai, Moscow, Hong Kong, London, and New York would go on to change the world in ways no one could predict, leaving behind stories of ambition, resilience, and transformation.